Okay, all right, guys. All right, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Polo Evolve. I'm back with another video. I just finished up at the gym, and so I decided to come out here to the park, get some fresh air, and I thought I'd talk. I thought I'd make a video today, and something's been on my mind recently, and that is I have this unsettling feeling. I don't know, maybe a lot of people have this feeling as well. I would assume a lot of people do, but I have this unsettling feeling that I am not where I'm supposed to be in life, and I do believe this is a pretty big limiting belief, not inherently in and of itself, right? The fact that I don't feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be is not a limiting belief, but there are limiting beliefs that lead to this conclusion of me thinking that I'm not where I'm supposed to be in life. And I was doing some actual thinking, doing an analysis, doing some journaling, and I realized that what, no one no one ever feels like they are exactly where they're supposed to be. Perhaps there are like a small percentage, I'm talking about like 0.0001, and I wouldn't even attribute to them feeling like that, like feeling like content with their life, to do anything to do with wealth or some sort of success or anything like that. These people are just content merely because the fact that they are just content with life. They don't have to be rich. They don't have to have these fancy things. They don't have to have some sort of level of success in maybe their career or family or whatever. They just feel content because they are content, right? And so this is just an interesting topic that I begin to kind of delve into. The only reason why is because as a trader, you have to realize, and I'm pretty sure some of you watching this video uh, will also understand where I'm coming from. As a trader, you really do need to dive deep into your psyche and figure out what are things that make you make mistakes psychologically. What are some psychological factors that affect you either negatively or positively? And that's exactly why I'm doing these analysis type videos. Hopefully some of these videos can help maybe some of you guys do a little bit of a deeper dive into your own psyche. Again, everyone is completely different. So with that being said, what might tick me off or what might make me act a certain way, may be the opposite for you, or maybe it's the same thing. Who knows? But with this being said, the topic of being content, I also think there's a major factor, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos. It's the fact that social media, the presence of social media, and the increased usage and the increased frequency of using social media has created this warped reality to make a lot of young people, especially young people, because, a lot of, I guess, like Gen Z and younger. I'm kind of on the cusp because of like millennial and Gen Z. I was born in 97, which I think is the last year for Gen Z. Anyway, that's besides the point. But I think the younger you are, the more affected that you would be from social media because you probably started using it from a younger age, right? And what this actually ends up doing for you is it creates this false sense of reality. All you're gonna see is a bunch of success, people that are, renting and LARPing, but at the same time, you can't really tell the difference. All you see is this: oh, this kid has a Lamborghini, this person has hundreds of thousands of dollars, oh, this person has all these women, this person has is successful in this X, Y, and Z. And while that is great, I know some of those people that actually are posting that are legitimate. A lot of it is not legitimate, and so what your mind can't really tell the difference between the two, right? It sees this one thing and it thinks, oh, this person has this, and that means I should have this. But I'd argue that, if you spend less time on social media and actually more time in your day-to-day life, not only will you be more productive, but your mind will start to rewire itself to be just more content with your day-to-day life, right? There's one stat that I saw recently. It's the fact that if you have a roof over your head and running water and some food to eat, some fresh food to eat, you are biologically doing better than 80% of the world, which means that a lot of you watching this video, yes, because if you can watch this video, it would probably mean that you do have a roof over your head and some food to eat, some fresh water to drink, right? That means that you guys are doing better than 80% of the world. So I want you guys to disregard what you see on social media and maybe even actively spend less time on social media. This is something that I've been doing recently. And the days I've noticed, like there's a stark difference between the days that I spend less time on social media and then the days that I spend, whole shitload of time on it. And the days that I spend less time, I feel so much better. I feel so much more content with my life. And the days that I spend more time on social media, I feel almost like I'm drained of my own energy, right? And again, this cannot be a coincidence. I've done some research into it, and I've noticed that other people do feel this way as well. And so I'm actively trying to limit my social media usage as much as possible. Yes, and I don't mind like if I come out and I'm producing on it, that's fine. But I don't want to be consuming it. And I think this is something I'd highly recommend if you guys are watching this video, maybe it's something that you guys should try as well, if it is something that you think is also bothering you guys as well. But yeah, and then there's probably another thing tied to not feeling where you want to be in life. And so this is a little bit more personal, but I'll let you guys know. I mean, I talk about it lightly in my other videos as well, but so about 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say 4 years ago, my mom was unfortunately diagnosed with this rare autoimmune disease, and ever since then, she's been pretty much bedridden. Right? She spent like after that happened to her, she almost passed away, and then I guess like came back to life, and then she was in a coma for a bit, and then like she lost all her mobility from the neck down, and spent like a whole bunch of time in the hospital and rehab centers, and then she finally came home after a year, but had very limited mobility. Yes, she has a little bit more mobility now, but she's pretty much bedridden, and I do a lot for her, which means I'm a full-time caregiver for her. And this happened to me, or this happened when I was 25, and I'm turning 29 this year. So at a pretty young age, I want to say. I know there are probably some people in the world that maybe something like this has happened to them at a even younger age. But I want to say that 25 and being a full-time caregiver is pretty much, that's pretty young, I want to say. So it's actually given me a different perspective on life. And the things that all my peers are interested in, or, trying to pursue, for example, like career, marriage, this, that, those are not things that I no longer relate to them, and I feel like an alien. Maybe some of you guys watching this video, I would assume, probably feel like this as well, because again, the average person is going to live a certain type of lifestyle, and anyone that is trying to get into the top 10%, 1%, they're obviously going to look and feel like aliens to everyone else as well. So that's besides the point. My perspective has changed ever since this has happened. And as I see people like my peers, my day one homies, they're now at that stage where all of them are getting married one by one. It's like almost like a domino effect. And yeah, so like I'm here sitting and I'm thinking like, oh wow, like everyone, is following the conventional path, and I'm not necessarily interested in following that path, and I never really was. But the fact that everyone is starting to kind of get along and kind of move forward with their life, and I feel like I am kind of like stagnant, it has put this, I guess, like a little bit of a pressure type situation on me to move things faster. But what I had realized is that me having this mindset is actually hindering my progress. And if you guys have this process or this mindset as well, where you are trying to rush the process, you guys will probably understand as well that you'll probably start to notice that it is also going to hinder your progress, right? You need to slow things down. You need to understand that success, while on social media may look like you can get it overnight, it's not really the case. It takes years of grinding, years of refinement, years of action, years of doing the same thing over and over again, years of saying no to a lot of things that people want to do around you, right? A lot of people want to just have fun and just relax and stuff. And I'm not opposed to that. I think you should live a balanced life. But at the same time, you do have to say no to a lot of things if you want to become, or if you want to be a part of the top 10%, 1%, whatever the case may be. And I say all this, I'm going to wrap this all back to my mom. Well, it may be an unfortunate situation. I've learned to come to terms with it, and there are some days where they're more challenging than others. But all in all, I realize that everyone's life and everyone's path is different. So you need to understand that sometimes it's okay to be in solitude, and solitude may allow you to figure out what it is that you actually want from life and the way that you operate. What are some things that, what are some psychological things, positive or negative? You start to figure more things about yourself when you are in solitude. So I would recommend, if you guys, going through this kind of like ghost mode, monk mode, where you're trying to get shit done, and you start to realize that maybe your friends that you are hanging around right now, they're not really on the same page as you. That's completely fine. Just understand, if you are trying to be a part of the top 10%, 1%, you're trying to be successful in any sort of avenue, you do need to, I guess, become content with the fact that you're going to be different, and it's okay to be different. And yeah, that's really just my rant for today. You guys let me know in the comments below. You guys resonate with anything I said? Did I miss anything? Yeah, let me know your thoughts below. And as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. Stay frosty, my friends.